Hi, everyone. Nice to have you with us. Thank you so much for tuning in and being faithful followers of our YouTube channel here. We are Tarpon Total Healthcare, and our pod vision is called I Stand Corrected. We are a chiropractic office located in Tarpon Springs, Florida, and our mission is to provide you with relief from your pain without the use of drugs or having surgery, and to provide you spinal adjustments that you can trust. And again, my name is Angel. I am the patient liaison for our office, and I'm also your direct connection to wellness. So today, our guest is known well in the area. When it comes to networking, there are a couple of names that would immediately come to mind here in the Pasco County area. And she's well known here, and now she's branching out into other areas. And I'm so happy for her, and I'm so very, very happy to have her on our pod vision today. So please welcome Jacklyn Wheeler with Connect Up Local.
Hello, thank you.
It's so nice to have you here. So you've got a lot going on.
A ton.
So the main thing that I want to talk to you and the world about is Connect Up Local. And so where that started from, like where that vision came from, what was it that incited that fire for you to start your own networking, well, chapter. Now it's a chapter because
Mhm.
you've got multiple locations, which is so very exciting. But then you also have some really good stuff going on too. So let's talk about Connect Up Local. What birthed that vision?
Well, after helping other organizations build their multi-billion-dollar empires, I kind of looked at it like I can do this. I looked at things that other organizations did that I didn't feel was necessarily working the right way,
Sure.
for the actual business owners. So I took the good things and I came up with my other good things that created Connect Up Local, and that was best for the members and best for the business owners in the community, because that's what it's about, right? If
Yeah.
you don't know people, then things aren't going to work.
Sure.
So, you hear me say this every week, education is like the key to everything
Sure
to
is.
me. So I actually have a degree in networking, which is not something that most people do have or can say that they have. And so that was what I wanted to bring to the community, really, was the education, because once people get the education, then the work is very simple.
Until you had brought that up within this last year, and I was like, I didn't even know that there was a degree for networking.
Mhm.
So I Googled it, Google University, and I'm like, son of a biscuit, there is a degree for networking.
Yes.
And I almost, like, after being with Dr. John now for coming up on 3 years, God, there almost should be, because
Absolutely.
networking is not for the weak.
This is true.
So Connect Up Local came on the heels of just years of being part of other network organizations, and learning and growing yourself, of
Mhm.
course. But then, sometimes we see deficits, and it causes us maybe to want to take a step back, and then and yeah, you kind of figure some other things out on your own. You have your own direction, a call on your heart, if you will.
Mhm.
I've known you for a few years
Yeah.
now. I love Connect Up Local.
Yes.
We're Tarpon Total Healthcare is part of the Newport Richey chapter, and when we joined, that was the only group that you had.
Mhm.
But now you have other ones. So
Yes.
so let's talk about the humble beginnings, and then where you are now.
Okay, well, like any other business, right? Because it is a business, you start things in the beginning and you try new things, right? And then throughout the year, you have new people coming in, and, I'm very much for feedback. So I have like a panel that works with me very closely.
Right.
And I'm always monthly, we have our own meetings, and I'm like, all right, guys, what's working this month? What didn't work? What needs to change? What do you want to talk about? What do you feel like the members need to hear from me? And they are better than they should be. Let's just put it that way, on giving me feedback, which is awesome. I'm no means complaining by any means, but it's helped me even grow, because
Mhm.
it's kind of made me pull at different aspects of things in our community, what our
Right.
community is lacking. the great things about the community that I can highlight, just different things like that. So that kind of helped me grow in the beginning. And then I was actually very against branching out. As you know, I have lots of kids. My small orphanage I take care of. I say this often. And I'm a super busy mom and just other
Right.
businesses that my husband and I own as well. So I was very against it. And then when I had people from other areas contacting me, like, come on, we love what you're doing there. Can you bring it here?
Yeah.
That's when I kind of had to step back and be like, okay, I can do this. You know what I mean? But listening to them and what their areas are lacking. So it's even caused me to even not just expand the actual group itself, but
Right.
actually expand my education as well, because
Right.
other areas need different things, which is nice. Another growing experience.
Oh, yeah. I remember a conversation we had about this, just the Hernando County area, and then the difference, the significant difference even between the cities,
Hmm.
how it's not fluid like it is like going from Port Richey to Newport Richey
Hmm.
here in Hernando County. I mean, not like it's Bloods and Crips, but it's
You're not far
significant.
off there.
Sorry. It is. It's significantly different. The culture is a little different up
Hmm.
there, and which is fine as long as you know it, and
Yes,
then you
going
learn
into
how
it,
to maneuver.
get your foot in that door. Yeah.
Right, and that's a hard one to
That's
do.
probably been the hardest feat, I think, because here, I was born here.
Right.
Everybody knows me or maybe has heard of me,
Sure.
in our area. So going up there, they're like, who's this newbie? What are you going to teach me? And to me, and I hate saying that. I would never say that people don't know things, because whatever they've been doing in their businesses that are already successful is working.
Right.
So I basically teach them how to look at the things they've already been looking at and just kind of turn it a quarter turn, let's just say, maybe even an
Hmm.
eighth at first, and look at things from a different angle.
Right.
So many business owners, I feel, not only run their businesses, but they also work in them.
Right.
And it makes it very difficult to be able to separate yourself,
Hmm.
me included. Trust me, it's still something that I struggle with. Set back and be like, okay, now I'm taking myself out of the equation. What has worked? So then it doesn't make it such a personal thing. So that's what I teach them. It's not
Right.
teaching them anything, let's say, new, because I don't think that's fair. I think they're all smart and
Yeah.
things have worked in their own right. Basically, just turning it and having them look at it from a different angle.
And it's always smart to have someone that is like a checkpoint.
Mhm.
It's not necessarily a business coach, which I don't understand why that title is not at the end of your name at this point. I think that you would be an excellent business coach,
Why, thank
truly.
you.
There's so many different kinds of business coaches, and there's at least 3 particular types of coaching that you're more than qualified to do. That said, um, I'm sure that you have seen one of the frustrating things for a coach is like you're kinda like being a parent. You see the potential. It's
Mhm.
right there. The gold is right there. Um, and then trying to bring that
Mhm.
out of that person when they don't see it themselves is a struggle
Oh,
because
absolutely.
they're so close.
Right. I know. I always give the example of, if you give a 2-year-old a hammer, what are they going to do with it? They're going to destroy everything they possibly can. And it's fun, right? But if you give
For
them a
them.
hammer and you constantly are teaching them how to use it, the education, by the time they're an adult, they're going to be able to build things. I mean, that might not be their job, but it's something that they are capable of doing.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So to me, it's the same thing, going into a group and like, okay, here you go. Good luck. I hope it works out for you. Then
Right.
you're not helping anybody.
Right.
If I help the members, then they can help themselves. You know what I mean? So that's always something that I pride myself on, you know what I mean, is that I show them how to do it. And there's nothing more rewarding to me when I see a member that I've kind of shown those things to. I won't mention his name on camera, but one of our members in our Newport Richie group, I mean, I just absolutely love him. And he tells my husband all the time, I love your wife. He'll tell him, I love your wife, because I show, like, listen, this is how easy it could be for you. You
Mhm.
just have to do this. You're doing all the right things,
Right.
but you're kicking up dust. So as soon as it was like that aha moment. He's like, oh,
Mhm.
I got it. And then now he's more successful. He's put more trucks on the road.
Bless his heart.
He brought his brother in, and now they're a big family, and it's just awesome. So that to me is like, oh, gives me all the warms and
It
fuzzies.
does. There's so much networking is if you come at it from a transactional perspective, there's really not much joy. And
It's a job.
right. And then it's very short-lived because then you don't want to do it because it's transactional. We're not built for just that.
Mm.
And I love that you talk so much about the relational, not it would be a good idea if, no, this is a necessity. This is a requirement for networking to be done right. and well done.
Mhm.
And the education that you provide is excellent. Uh,
I try that, and like you keep saying transactional. I always say that to people, like, once you build the relationships, which is the easy part.
it really
If
is.
you look at networking as a whole and you take out that it's a job, I have my job here and then I do this networking thing on the side. If
Hmm.
you take that out of it, look at it like you're coming to breakfast with friends. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? What do you do when you go to breakfast with friends? You talk amongst yourself about everything.
Yeah.
So when you go out and they own a business and you're talking to somebody else about something else, your friend is the first one in your mind that you think of that does whatever this other person might be looking for.
Exactly.
So if you're building those relationships, the transactions are automatically going to come later.
Hmm.
You think of who do you refer the most to? Your friends and your family.
Yeah.
I mean, so if you're building those relationships, the networking just happens. You'll find yourself being that person that everybody goes to looking for somebody. I have people call me and text me all the time. They're like, "Oh, you know everybody. I need somebody who does this." And right
Yeah.
away, I'll think of a person in my mind. You know
Right.
what I mean? And I'm one of those people, like, I don't know somebody. I'm like, "Oh, shoot. All right, I guess I better go meet some people." You know what I mean? Better start making some phone calls and sending some emails. But people know that, and you'll be
Hmm.
seen as that person. You've made yourself that way too. So it's nice to see when people take the education and they actually use it.
Oh, yeah.
And I tell my husband, I'm like, see, they listen to me.
Husband, that's a whole
Well,
nother
that's another
subset.
conversation.
That's a TED Talk counseling session.
Yeah, exactly.
No, so when I started with Dr. John, I joined with you probably within 6 months, I think, of being with him. And it was really one of the first things that I had gotten involved with. And now I was raised by old people, like they were born in the 20s and they were, business owners, and I didn't have a chance of, not being extroverted. They would not have allowed me
Mhm.
to be, crawl inside myself and be an
Yes.
introvert. Now there's none of that. And so I felt very comfortable straight our very first handshake. Went very quickly to a hug. Like I felt like a sisterhood between us, but the relational part of it that you are able to weave into the education, and then when you've even given kudos to people, and that's one of the topics or the points that you bring into it is how this has worked because the relationship that we have, that the whole know like and trust thing, there's no getting away from that. And but the way that you deliver the know like and trust mindset, you do it in your own way, and it resonates differently, which I love very much. So we've been a big fan of Connect Up Local.
Well,
Clearly
thank
we're
you.
still there.
I love that.
And it's a seat specific
Hmm.
organization. And so now you have Newport Richie, and then
We opened up a chapter now up in Spring Hill.
right.
We meet at My Nanny's on Wednesdays, and then we also have a group out in Land O'Lakes now that meets at the Village Inn on Thursday mornings from
love
7:30 to
Village Inn.
8:30.
It
Oh, they
needs
get
to be
free
on Pi
pie.
Day. Is that on Pi Day?
It is not on Pie Day. Pie days are
Mm,
Wednesdays, but
well,
yeah,
can't win them all.
can't win them all. But the pie, you can still have pie.
Yeah.
It's great.
So then do you have your sights on any additional locations that you're
Not
willing to?
currently. Those groups right now, Spring Hill's very, very close to being set up on their own, and then I'll
Right.
just come in quarterly and just be their support that they need. We have some amazing members up
Yeah.
there that I'm really excited about. Land O'Lakes is there's much more competition out there,
Hmm.
whereas up in Hernando County, they don't really have a whole lot of networking things up there.
Right.
Whereas Land O'Lakes is quite different. There's quite a bit of competition out there. So that it's a
Right.
little slower growing group, but still great members out there too. So once I get those up and running, then maybe we'll look into possible other locations.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
And I've had a couple people reach out to me for different locations too. I'm like, hold, slow your roll. I gotta get these, well-oiled machines first, and then we'll go
Cart
there.
horse.
Yes.
They're not even
Which is very
touching.
hard for me because I can do all these things, and my husband's like, okay, you're making me dizzy with all this stuff.
Right.
But I have to step back, mom first, so
Yeah, because you have how many kids?
I have 4 children.
You
Yeah.
don't even look like you've had more than one. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Huge conflict, huge.
Yeah.
And now, so you and your husband have multiple businesses,
Hmm.
and which is part of the vision of Connect Up Local. And I couldn't find any pictures on to share, but I wanted to get you like with somebody in your chair because your craft, it's not even like what you do for a living.
Mhm.
It's actually a craft that you
Absolutely.
do. What have you been doing and how long have you been doing it? Nobody's going to believe you.
Yeah, well,
Nobody's going to believe
I
you.
promise. So I'm a hairstylist by trade, specifically in the Trinity area, and 25 years. I just hit 25 years, September 5th.
So that's
So
ridiculous.
yeah, it's insane.
Yeah. I
Which I
think that
can't
when we
believe.
first met, I was like, I need to see your ID. And now I need a calculator because I got to
Yeah,
work
right.
out the
Hold on, I gotta
math.
work this all out. But so it was a business I was born into. My dad has 5 sisters. They were all hairdressers in and out of the business, different times of life and stuff. And what I learned really young was it was about the person that was sitting in the chair, not even so much what you do to them. It's
Right.
how you make them feel when they leave.
Yeah.
And so I've made it my mission in life to figure out the feelings aspect, the relationship aspect of it, for retention for one,
Mm-hmm.
but to really when a woman feels good about herself, I mean, there's nothing that she can not do. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So through COVID, we were home quite a bit. So I did quite a bit of research on the scientific aspects of different things. And, you came right to me that first meeting that I talked about, my product Glow, which I think some of the pictures were up there.
Yeah.
But COVID hair was a thing, is
It's
still
still
a
a thing.
thing, and it
Mm-hmm.
sucks. So I poured myself into all types of research and conversing with different physicians around the world, really, on trying
Right.
to kind of get to the bottom of it and what was happening. And that has been a life-changing product for so many different people,
Yeah. Yeah.
which has been
Absolutely right.
awesome. Mhm.
I sent you a picture and a text message on I think it was a Monday morning, and I had COVID and pneumonia, and whew, like that, it was bad. But and so I made it out of that. Um, but it was about what a month later after and I was still
Mhm.
struggling to get some things back. I never lost my taste or smell or anything like that, but I did have that off feeling,
Mhm.
and but so I'm in the shower and I'm like, this looks like a blanket. You're supposed to lose hair every day.
Mhm.
I don't think you're supposed to lose that much. And my hair has always been long, like yours. My hair's been pretty full. Um, and I was like losing a lot of hair. So my daughter, who adores you, she was in hair school herself over in the villages. And so, I'm supporting her while she's
Mhm.
helping pay for it too. Working on getting free hair for the
That's
rest of
another
my life.
conversation.
And so I'm sitting in her chair and she said, Mom, um, I don't want to say this. It's gonna hurt your feelings. I don't want to I'm not gonna charge you for the number of bowls that I thought that I was gonna need for your hair. And I said, well, why is that gonna hurt my feelings? Because it's gonna end up being less. And she said, no, it's because you don't have the hair volume. You've lost a lot of hair. And I said, what? Take a picture. And so she took a picture of my scalp, which is what I sent to you.
Mhm.
I left out of there and she felt so bad. But my kid's gonna tell the truth.
Mhm.
So which I value that very much. But I cried all the way home. And then when I got up the next morning and I took a shower and had washed my hair, and then more hair came out. I never that was one of the few times in my life that I felt depressed.
Mhm.
And so I messaged you and I'm like, I don't know what to do. And you're like, girl, I got you.
Mhm.
And you gave me a bottle of Glow and I started taking it. And within 30 days, I felt like a baby orangutan. It's the little hairs
Baby hairs sticking up everywhere.
everywhere. So then I go back for a touch up with my daughter. Then she's like, for the love of God, I'll be right back. She comes back with another bowl. And I said, what are you mad about? And she's like, no, I don't know what you're doing, but there are millions of baby hair. I had to go and get more product. So Glow works.
Yes, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I'll just kind of give you a little background on what collagen actually is. So collagen is basically like it cleans out the fascia in your body, the fascia in your body is the liquid that's around your muscles and your bones that stores all of our toxins.
Right.
So toxins are why we get sick. Toxins are a reason for a lot of autoimmune things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of started out my research, and then now there are umpteen hundreds of different types of collagen. So the collagen that I have, Glow, is actually type 1 collagen, which is what we have the most of. That's our
Okay.
hair, skin, and nails. So anytime we're sick, I actually just said this again in our meeting this morning. Anytime you're sick, you lose nutrients,
Yeah.
which is why it's so important to stock up on your nutrients after you're sick, because you're losing all of that. So
Right.
with COVID, I don't know why, but it depleted everybody of their vitamin D, their zinc, vitamin C,
Mm-hmm.
and their collagen. So collagen, if you look at it, if a woman with an older woman that has some, love lines, shall we say, in her face, it's lack of collagen. So
Right?
it kind of plumps it back up. So I 100%, I mean, I have good genes in my family, but I am the oldest of three girls, and I feel like I look like the youngest. If my sisters ever see this, they will hate me. But I attest a lot of that to the collagen
Right.
because obviously I started a lot younger than some of my clients who did. So it's replenishing it.
Yeah.
Whereas you lose starting at age 26, you lose 3 to 6% of collagen a year.
Ooh.
So you can imagine by the time you get into your 50s, there's a big difference from a woman hitting 40 to 50 just
Yeah.
because you're losing that much more.
And then if you smoke,
hmm There's just
that's even
everything, of
worse.
course, everything that you
Yeah.
do is going to compound on top of that and be worse. But the results that I've sent you, sent other people is just astounding. And then their own. I mean, when me and my daughter had COVID at the same time, my youngest, who was 15 months old at the time, she went completely bald. Now it's cute on a baby. It's not cute on a 37-year-old woman. You
No.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I panicked, this is how am I supposed to sell beauty and I'm bald? You know what I mean? Scarves don't look well on me.
Right.
So that's when I started my research, and then just I noticed a difference in my hair within 4 days of taking it. Just
Wow.
the little bit I had left, it had more luster, more, I have very naturally curly hair. So just the shine to it and the smoothness. I mean, that was amazing. So I'm like, this is something that I have to get
Right.
out there. Me, if I give you anything to try, that's how much I believe in it. You know what I mean?
100%.
Some people are like, oh, well, it's here and this is going to be the price for it. No, if I give you something, there is a very strong belief behind it that it's
Yeah.
a miracle,
Well,
whatever
that's
it
money out
is.
of your pocket. Like
Absolutely, yeah, of
you
course.
bought that product and and you use it also,
Mhm.
So no, that was probably one of the greatest kindnesses that someone could have extended to me. Like you actually fixed my problem. You gave me
Yeah.
hope because a woman's hair is her glory. I mean,
Yes.
that's even in the
It's her
Bible.
crown, I say.
That's right. And so and you don't realize the things that you feel like they end up being like identity parts of us. You're known for a couple of things. I'm known for I'm the girl with the long
Yeah.
hair and the skeleton that hangs around her neck. That's weird. I have to tell everybody I work for a chiropractor. I'm not morbid. But there's some things that you're known for, and I will tell you that like I have a lot of friends that are hairstylists and everybody's got their niche. I don't know one hairstylist that has the knowledge about hair and then why you would lose it and then what you can do as far as like well-sourced supplements. Because I mean, you can go to Walmart and
Yeah.
get crap.
Yeah.
But so then so much about, where these items come from, how the products are what am I trying to say? How they're sourced
Yes, absolutely. That's
and
a
from where
big
they
thing.
come.
Like you said, I mean, you can walk into GNC, you can walk into Walmart, Walgreens, anything. I mean,
Yeah, please don't.
collagen is the thing right now. If anybody's noticed anything about anything, they're like, oh, I can take my own stuff. I can take if that's working great. But I've even done the research as to why behind the one I use as opposed to some of the other ones that are on the market, why use this over that. I've posted a few things on Facebook about that too, powder over liquid. There's always going to
Right.
be different, it's about the size of the molecules, but that's the more scientific. I won't bore you all today on that, but those are the things that
But I love
get
the
me all
fact that you
excited.
know it.
Yeah. Well, because you're going to have those questions,
Yeah.
I was, when I did an educational moment a few weeks ago, it was overcoming objections in business,
Mhm.
and one of the first things in any type of business I feel people should do is you should have some type of questionnaire for clients coming in to answer because what can we do better? What did we not explain to you today? And you will get some amazing responses from
Yeah.
people like, you know what, I would like to know more about this, or you didn't talk about this. And in our minds, we know our business. We're all experts in our own field, right?
Right.
But are we portraying that to our clients?
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So those are the types of things. And people would ask me, well, I take this. It's a powder. I put it in my coffee. It doesn't taste like anything. I'll be honest. Glow tastes terrible. However, uh,
It's worth getting used
it's
to.
worth yeah, I mean, now I
Yeah.
don't even taste it. I just take it in a shot glass
Yeah.
before I go to bed and it's great. But they were like, "Well, why a liquid over a powder?"
Yeah.
And so I'm like, "Oh, it was something that I
Mhm.
hadn't thought about." I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to look into it." Well, to make the liquid, which is already automatically a liquid when you get it, to make it into a powder is a drying process and it has to make the molecules are so much larger, which are harder for your body to absorb it. Right. So it's those types of things. So that's something that I can say. So it's a counter of like, well, I just take a powder, it's better. I'm like, well, here's the difference. If you're interested, I'm just going to throw it out there.
Right.
Stick with what you want to, but this is why you should use a liquid over a powder.
Yeah.
It's much more consumable by our bodies. Our body's mostly water, mostly liquid. So those types of things.
Right.
Mhm.
And so I find Connect Up Local has such a strong value point because as the leader of the founder of the network organization, and we can call it an
It
organization at
is,
this
yeah.
point, because you're not willing to take someone else's word for something, you do the work yourself, and then you deliver the message to everyone in the room in ways that are they make sense. They're easily applied. You have to apply that, but but you lay things out in very candid and clear ways.
I try.
So you have
Yes.
done networking well.
Thank
And I'm
you.
very, very happy that we had the opportunity to meet and are continuing
Yeah, thank
forward.
you.
So thank you so much for being part of this. Listen, if you are a business owner in the Pasco County area and now broadened outside of Pasco into Hernando County, and you are looking to grow your business by referral based networking, and maybe you've been in organizations previously, very large ones, and maybe that wasn't the environment for you, but education is something that you know that you would benefit from. You just don't really know where to start. Come and visit one of the chapters. There is one. We meet at the IHOP in Newport Richey on Tuesdays. Her Wednesday group is up in Spring Hill. You had said it, my nannies, and that's at 7:30 in the morning. All of the groups are at 7:30 in the morning. Get up out of bed, y'all, and get to work on your business with other like-minded professionals. If you're over in the Land O'Lakes area, that's on Thursday. And it's definitely worth going and checking out. Go to their Facebook page. She's got a lot of good content on there. Her phone number is available. Her email is available. She's easily reached. So definitely reach out to Miss Jacklyn Wheeler with
Absolutely.
Connect Up Local. And we appreciate so much you watching our show faithfully as you do every week. Follow us on all of our social media platforms. I think we've got 13 of them now. I feel like Twitter, it's now X, obviously YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Google, all of the places. We're even on TikTok now. Follow us on all of those. And if you find yourself in a situation where you are in need of a chiropractor, or maybe you're just looking for a second opinion for a surgery that you were told that you needed, and you've got questions, we would like to provide you with really good feedback. So thank you so much for watching, and we appreciate your time. And follow us again next week. We'll see you then.